What's up, everybody? It's what Jim. Let's do the movie review for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the 42nd project in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, that's right, 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything, according to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The answer to the great question, yes, of life, the universe, and everything, yes, is 42. 42?
You can let me know if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and your thoughts on it on the comment section below, but no spoilers, as this is a no spoiler review. I'll be talking about the good for this film, then the bad and the verdict, what I'll rate this out of 10. But before that, let's roll on with the What the Gym intro.
What the gym?
For a change, I'm not going to talk about the plot of this film, so let's just go straight on with the good for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So for the good, I found this film enjoyable and fun for most of it. I also thought the story was good for most of it as well. I think the cast for this film is pretty great, and I think the acting's pretty good too. But mainly with Paul Rudd as Ant-Man and Jonathan Majors as the villain for this movie, being Kang. I think Jonathan Majors did an incredible performance as Kang, and he's definitely one of my favourite villains of the MCU. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. They were definitely my favourite characters from the film, but I also enjoyed the Van Dyne family, as well as Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie, in this film. So in my opinion, I do think the characters are done quite well here. The relationships in this film were quite good here, mainly with Ant-Man and his daughter Cassie, as well as his relationship with the Van Dyne family. The music/score for this film, I think, is done very great, even though it's not particularly memorable. I still think it went well with this film. The CGI and visuals for this movie, I think, are done very well. However, you can tell that some of it is shot behind a green or blue screen, so it definitely took me out of the film a couple of times, unfortunately. However, I think the world and character design overall is done pretty great here. There was some very unique alien species in the quantum realm, and I thought Marvel did a very good job with them. I think the action is fun and great overall, and very epic in scale. Definitely one of the best parts of this film to me. The humour, I think, is okay, but it didn't work for me all the time, unfortunately. There was only a few moments that made me laugh quite a bit. I also think that the length for this film was quite good, just being over 2 hours. But that's really what I say for the good, and I will talk about the bad for this film. I've unfortunately got quite a few problems with this film, and the first problem is the tone of this movie. There's moments in the film where it starts off quite serious, and about 5 seconds later, there's a joke in the movie, so it definitely has got problems with the tone for this film. It sometimes felt like there were multiple directors directing this film. I also think they didn't spend enough time in Earth. I feel like they spent a bit too much time in the quantum realm for my liking. A lot of the writing and the jokes don't work here, in my opinion, especially with the character of MODOK, who I think was an unnecessary inclusion for this movie. I found him quite annoying. I didn't find him that funny. I just thought he ruined the film slightly for me. Because this is part of the MCU, it's going to use, of course, quite a lot of visuals and CGI, but I think this film uses too much of it. If they were going to use that much CGI and visuals, I think they should have spent more money on it. The visuals and CGI, I do think, still looks great. It just could have looked even better, in my opinion. So that's why I think they should have included more of Earth, so there wouldn't be as much of a blue or green screen used in this film. This film is also very different to the previous Ant-Man movies, so some people might like that, but some people might not. I'm sort of in between with it. I think it's great that it went into a different direction, but I do think it makes the whole Ant-Man series very inconsistent though. The one final thing I'll say about the bad is the pacing. I do think the length for this film is great, but the pacing, in my opinion, is all over the place here. The first act and the final act of this film move at a quicker pace than the second act, although I do think the second act is really slow. I do think it's a little bit slow compared to the other two acts. That's all I'm going to say about the bad. Now let's move on to the verdicts for this film. I recommend this film to people who like the other Ant-Man movies, even though this one is very different to those ones, and also recommend it to people who like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There were also two post-credit scenes. There's one midway through the credits, and there's one at the end of the credits. I recommend to stick around for those two, as I thought they were quite good. And I rate Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good thing in the MCU. I can see why some people might think this is a great film, but I can also see why people think this is just an okay film, and I'm somewhere in the middle of those lot of people. So that's it for my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Again, you can let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below with no spoilers, as this is a no spoiler review. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, everyone, ciao.